Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to tackle a super simple but a super important math concept. Multiplying by 10, hundreds, and thousands. Now the trick to this super cool trick is all you have to do is add zeros. Now here are the rules. Now when you multiply by 10, you add 1 0. When it comes to multiplying by 100, you add 2 zeros. And when you multiply by 1,000, you add 3 zeros. Now let's try a few out on this couple of questions. Now when you multiply this one, the first one, which is 8 times 10, you look at how many zeros there are. And when we say 10, how many zeros are there? 1. So you would write 1 0 and the 8, which equals 80. Now, if that was a little confusing, I'll break it down even further. So, you write it like this. 10 times 8. So, what's 0 times 8? Equals 0. And that's where we get the 0 from. Because you're multiplying this with this. But instead of doing what we do here, we just look at the 0 that we have here. So 8 times 1 is 8. That's why you get your 80. Now moving on to the following question. It's 3 times 100. Now how many zeros are there in this question? 2. There are 2 zeros. So when you multiply a number by 10, 100, or 1,000, you have to look how many zeros there are. And you would have typically the amount of zeros you would add to the number. So in this question, 3 times 100, you would have to multiply or add 2 zeros. So look at this one, as in, remember, you multiply this one and this one, gets you 3. And then all you have to do is add 0 and 0 to give you 300. You're adding 2 zeros. If we look at number 3, you have 7 and 1, and you have 3 zeros. Now 7 times 1 is 7. You have 3 zeros. You add 3 zeros, as there are 3 zeros in 1,000. So you add that. Okay, now we'll go into 2-digit numbers. It gets a little bit harder, but it's still the same rules. Keep in mind, if it's 10, you add 1 0. If it's 100, you add 2 zeros. And if you have 3, so if you have 1,000, you have 3 zeros, you add 3 zeros. So, for this question, how many zeros are there? In 10, it would be 1. So, for this one, you multiply 24 by 1, which gives you 24, and you add your 0 since it's 1 0. Moving on to the next questions, you have 56 times 1, and you have your 2 zeros. How many zeros would you add to 56? Remember, it's the amount of zeros you're multiplying the number by. So if it's 2, you add 2 zeros. Moving on to the next question. If you have 19 times 1 and 3 zeros, you times 19 by 1, which gives you 19. And how many zeros are there? There are 1, 2, 3. So you add 3 zeros, which gives you 19,000. Now we go into a little bit harder, but still the same rules apply. Now you have 123 multiplied by 1. And you have how many zeros in 10? 1. So you will have 123 with a 0, which gives you 1,230. Moving on. You have 456 times 1 gives you what? 456. And you add how many zeros? How many zeros are there in 100? 2. So you add 2 zeros, which gives you 45,600. Moving on. How many zeros are in 1,000? 3. Now you're multiplying 789 with 1, which gives you what? 789. And since there's the 3 zeros, you add the 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Which gives you 789,000. And that's your answer. Now I'll give you some time to do this very simple question before we summarize the lesson. Pause the video if you want some time to do these questions, and then you can write your answers in the comments before I continue with completing these questions. I'll give you a little bit more time, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, welcome back. I hope you've done the questions. Now, remember, 5 times 1 equals 2, 5. Now, how many zeros are there in 10? 1. So you add the 0. That 0 looks a bit wonky, but okay, moving on. The next question. 5 times 1 is what? 5. And how many zeros are there in 100? 2, right? So you add 2 zeros. Next question. You have 5 times 1 gives you 5. How many zeros are there in 1,000? Hopefully your answer was 3. So you add 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Now those are your answers to the questions of practice questions. And hopefully if you want more questions, I can give them some more questions. Make sure you write a request of how many questions you would like in the comments below, and I can give you some more. And you could also search some resources online in regards to this trick, but I could also help out. So why does this trick work? So let's break that down. So it's all about place value. Now, our number system is based on its place value. Each digit has a specific value that depends on its position. So if we multiply by 10, we're essentially moving one digit placed to the left. This creates a new empty space at the end, where we fill 0. Okay? And another tip I'll give you is that multiplying by 100 is like multiplying 10 twice. So 10 times 10 equals 100. So technically, multiplying by 100 is multiplying 10 twice. Now multiplying 1,000, it's like multiplying 10 3 times. If 10 times 10 gives you 100, so 2 10s equals 100, that means 3 10s will give you 1,000. So that means 10 times 10 times 10 gives you 1,000. So the overall rule to this trick is adding 1, 2, or 3 zeros. Now for 10, so specifically to 100 and 1,000, that's why we add 2 and 3 zeros. Keep that in mind. Now grab a piece of paper and try the following sample or practice questions out. This one would be 7 times 10. Another question will be 23 times 100. And another one would be 145 by 1,000. Make sure you guys do this and put your answers down below in the comments, and I hope this video has helped you understand how to multiply by 10, 100, and 1,000. Remember, it's just adding the zeros. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more math tips and tricks and other videos. Thanks for watching.